everybody? Welcome to Headshot MMA Episode 3, Special Edition, Prefight UFC 218. We got on the line Adrian from the other side of the city.
Yes, sir. East side.
From the east side of the city.
The east side of the city.
But we will make it happen to deliver this content one way or another.
Always.
So, man, tomorrow will be 218. Another card, another top card on top of all these other big cards that have been happening all this year.
The stacked cards, man. It's what you want to see. You know what I'm saying? We're always saying that, there's only a couple fights that are good, but this is, even from the prelims, man, the prelims could be almost like a Fox fight night, just with the prelims, man. It's just stacked all over. Good fights, good matchups. That's what we want to see.
Big cards, but no Conor McGregor. But it's because they have to. They have to bring it because there is no Conor McGregor. There is no Ronda Rousey. There is nobody else. There's no John Jones. There's nobody that can deliver the content that puts on a big fight. So we have to bring at least 4 big fights to make up for the one big fight.
Oh yeah. And I mean, it's you have to give the people what they want. I mean, it's all about the exciting fights, and you got to put on those exciting fights. And like I said, this is stacked from the prelims all the way to the main card. And in my eyes, at least, I see a lot of good matchups. I was gonna ask you first, a quick little side note. What was your thoughts of the Count versus Gastelum?
Well, we can touch base on that a little bit.
Last weekend, yeah. Wanted to get your thoughts. I didn't catch the fight. You did. I wasn't about to wake up that early to catch it.
I mean, give it to Bisping, but did we really want to see him get hurt? I mean, who cleared this guy to fight again in 3 weeks?
There was a lot of debate about it. I mean,
he wasn't concussed, but I mean, he still got choked out.
Oh yeah, I mean,
he blacked out.
Yeah, granted a choke is not as bad as a vicious knockout, but I mean, you're still getting some kind of damage. You're still going unconscious, so that kind of plays a little bit of a role in a medical suspension. Most guys are suspended for 3 months, sometimes 6 months.
I mean, I get it. The money's good. They pay him good. The Count's all about it. He's English. They love to fight, just like the Irish. Exactly. But at what expense? It's kind of almost like we're kind of going back to the way Donald Cerrone would fight. Exactly. He was just down to fight over and over and over, no matter if he got knocked out or whatever the case may have been.
And now he's seeing the repercussions of that. Now he wants to take his time now because he's been on a losing streak and losing pretty bad. So yeah, man, it's no joke when you're losing, getting knocked out viciously or getting choked out. It's still damage being done. So it's kind of you need that time to recuperate your body to get back into the swing of things. So
well, Gastelum bombed on him, dude. I mean, he literally knocked him out. I mean, I don't know if anybody caught that. You can catch the clip on our Instagram. Yeah, I do have it posted. Go check it out. If you want to see the knockout, go to our Instagram at Headshot MMA and see that knockout. And tell me, why is this man fighting again?
Man, no, and a lot of credit to Kelvin. I mean, honestly, in the back of my mind, I was thinking, imagine if Silva didn't test positive and he was. I foresaw the same outcome, maybe. Gastelum is just his footwork, his stand up, his striking is just. It's almost like it's getting better every time you see him. Granted, when he fought Weidman, even remember when he fought
Weidman, I mean, he arm triangle. I mean,
yeah, but he almost caught Weidman too. He almost caught him. It's just that when he hits you, man, he hits hard, and it's kind of hard because Kelvin is a small middleweight, man. You see him against the bigger middleweights, it's hard, man. But I mean, he hits hard and he comes forward, man.
So tell me this: there was a no contest decided against Vitor, Mr. Belfort.
Right.
He TKO'd Vitor Belfort, but the decision was overturned because he tested positive for marijuana.
Right.
I mean, what are your thoughts really on the sport and marijuana? Because obviously, the Diaz brothers and other people are widely spread. I know this is off topic, but I mean, with USADA chasing everybody down, I mean, are we really just going after roids, or are we going after
everything?
Everything. I mean,
there's even past fights where guys were looked into for using, some kind of creams that had, stuff that tested positive. So it's kind of, all over the place. In my mind, I mean, I believe if you're taking it for the purpose of, your pain.
Well, he's rehabbing. I mean, he's not smoking weed to get bigger. I mean, he's not going to get.
Right, exactly.
He might get bigger. Well, he is getting bigger because he can't make welterweight. Right. So he obviously got the munchies, but I mean, in a sense, does marijuana enhance any performance while you're in the cage? I doubt somebody's smoking weed before they go in the cage. I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure this is maybe the weekend before, maybe trained hard and maybe want to relax, have a day off, smoke a joint, whatever the case may be. Yeah. How does that enhance and disable you from performing any different?
I don't think it like how you said, I don't think these guys are doing it before they step out into the cage. I think it's more of, after purpose, or even a couple weeks before the fight.
Because they get tested afterward as well.
Yeah, they get tested afterwards right away. So, I mean, or in Nate Diaz's case, smoke it while you're at the post-fight press conference. It's all.
Well, in his defense, it was CBD oil. It wasn't. Right. Yeah. It wasn't actual marijuana, but.
Right. Exactly.
There was no.
And he said he uses it for
inflammation.
Yeah, inflammation. Yeah. So I think it's a lot of, like I said, to avoid. I mean, maybe it's something to keep you out less time. I mean, like I said.
Yeah, recovery. I mean, we talked about it. I mean, there's major benefits in cannabis that can help recover faster.
I suffer from anxiety, and that thing calms me down. It lets me go to sleep better. So
that's what I mean.
As long as I'm not behind the wheel or it's impairing my judgment and all that, do it in the privacy of your own home.
Yeah, why not?
Right.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Why not?
Who is it hurting? And like you said, unless you're behind the wheel at work or something inappropriate, why not? Why not get, do what you got to do?
I'd rather, like I said, do that than have to take pills every night like I used to. Have to take pills to fall asleep, and I was dependent on them. But with this, it's more of relaxation. More of you're calming yourself. So I understand from that standpoint, and I don't find it fair for the fighters to be penalized for it. I mean, but at the end of the day, I understand they're trying to clean up the sport, and there was a lot of little things that it's almost that rule of, why did you let this guy do it and not me, kind of thing. It's like if they let some fighters pass, then you're going to get a whole other line of fighters that are going to be questioning it. So it at the end of the day, it's one of those sensitive subjects that maybe one day it'll be allowed. Maybe one day it'll just be in certain states, certain areas. So when that day comes, then we can talk more about it.
Well, I don't know if you listen to Joe's MMA podcast,
yes.
Number 3 with Shab. They did mention some states are not required to test as far as like USADA. I mean, I don't know if that has to do with anything with UFC, because they were talking about Bellator and talking about the heavyweight Grand Prix.
Yeah.
I'm not sure Bellator doesn't test during certain cities, or what's the deal if they're just like let's
Well, I mean,
pass on it because as far as I'm
yeah,
concerned, most of their heavyweights and they're juiced up anyway. Frank Mir and all
right.
them.
Well, I mean, it's. I think it has a lot to do with the commission of the states where they're fighting in. Um, a majority of the states, just like they have certain rules where you can't knee a downed opponent or you can't do, you
I
know,
don't know how because every damn fight I see, it's like the rules
right,
do not apply here yet. Okay, well,
right.
what
No,
what place does it
yeah.
apply yet?
And a good example of that is the Weidman Musasi fight, where everybody was like, "What the?" Or even the Poirier and Eddie Alvarez fight. There's
I
certain
mean, did
stuff
we
where you're
really need
like,
to stop that? I mean,
no, I mean it's one of those things where you say, "Is that allowed there, or what the heck's going on?" So
but I mean,
it's
I
kind of
get it
hard to,
if you kick a guy in his face while he's down. I mean, I
right,
understand that. But if I mean, if you're really in a clinch and the guy's head is down and you throw a knee or something, who gives a shit if his hands are down? I mean, really?
right.
I mean, it's fighting.
Well, and all that goes out the door once you're in the cage. I mean, you're in that zone where you're like, I can't go in there fighting thinking what I can't do. You're going in there to
To win.
pretty much to get the win.
Yeah, you're trying to take the other guy out. I don't give a shit how
Mm-hmm.
much respect you got, outside of the cage. But I mean, before that, I mean, stupid websites are making all this noise. Um, I'm just trying to see this bracket for the Grand Prix, but
That kind of sounded good. It sounded like a third person said, "We don't judge. We we
but
don't judge. We like all those rules." Like, I mean, and you know what? It's funny because um, I know, UFC is the major leagues, man, and then you can see it by competition and what they're doing. But you got to admit that Bellator is getting a little streak going because they've got some good fighters now. They got Rory over there now,
well,
and
yeah,
even that heavyweight Grand Prix, man. I mean, it's say what you want to say, but it's tough guys. I mean, it's guys that have a history, and granted, it's not going to be as exciting or anything come close to UFC, but they got some fighters over there that are making some noise. And
well, I mean, it's kind of like they're taking some pages out of WWE's kind of book. You know what I mean? But
oh yeah, yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
if you
remember it was like with the WCW days, you had all the classic guys there. You had all your old school guys there, so it's kind
but
of
then again, they are open to Bellator and what was it, TNA Impact.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, they were down with Rampage crossing over, or
mm-hmm.
Tito crossing over, King Mo. Those guys were going to pro wrestling and making appearances, and
Yeah.
they were exchanging like just like tonight. I'm not sure if you even saw any kind of sneak peek of tonight's Tough finale, but
I haven't. No, I
WWE is
haven't.
sponsoring tonight's Tough finale.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, they're doing the 2K18 game or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, with that said, I mean you're seeing a little bit of a crossover because I mean, look, did you hear about Jack Swagger going to Bellator?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you got
For the
Jack
first fight.
Swagger, we
Yeah.
got CM Punk, we got Brock Lesnar, we got Bobby Lashley, we got, I mean, who else we got from pro wrestling? I mean, we just got so many people. Well, Dave Bautista even had a pro
Yeah,
MMA
when he
fight.
had exactly. Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that want to get into the game, but um, I think a lot of them missed the bus. I mean, I don't know if you remember when Brock was hardcore in UFC and he was like, I think he was champ. He might have been champ, but I think it was maybe
The
after the
first
Kane
fight.
fight, and then he
The
walked
first.
out and he saw the Undertaker out in the crowd,
Yeah, he was there.
and
Yeah.
the Undertaker goes, "You want to do this?"
No.
Hell yeah, dude. Let's see the Undertaker in the fucking MMA cage. Let's see that. I mean, because I mean, everybody thinks pro wrestling's a joke. Let's see those guys in there. Connor said he'll fuck them all up, but let's see these big guys. I mean, go in there and throw some blows and some real fighting.
Well, I mean, I didn't like the idea of Brock Lesnar going over to UFC just because I thought it was gonna be like a sideshow thing. Like I'm like, nah, man, don't.
I mean, it was a sideshow thing because I mean, I've
Because I mean,
watched I've watched pro wrestling since I was a kid. I mean, so
okay,
have
same
you.
same here.
And and for to take somebody serious that came from pro wrestling, it was not one of those things that we've seen. Um, but in a sense, they kind of go hand in hand. I mean, the only thing that's not real about pro wrestling is the results.
Right.
I mean, these guys are getting banged up. I mean, and also Brock had NCAA background though too.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. Like he went in with the background of collegiate wrestling, and I mean, I remember seeing his first fight, and I was like, man, this dude's an animal. He's just
juice to the fucking gills. Juice to the gills off of them fucking roids, though. I will tell you that.
But I mean, I was excited when he fought Alistair, man. I was just, I mean, I remember we were up there. Remember when they put out the promos for it at the MGM? They had it on the blackjack tables and all that. And man, I remember telling you, dude, these dudes are like monsters going up against each other. It was. Both of them were jacked. That was Overeem at, Ubereem over there. So
juice to the fucking gills.
Yeah. It was madness with those guys, man.
But if you right now where Brock's at, I mean, he's not coming back. They overturned the decision against Mark Hunt to no contest. He lost against Overeem. He lost against Kane. The last one he had was against Shane Carwin in 2010.
Yeah,
we're in 2017 right now.
It's too long of a time has passed already, man, and that's justice for Mark Hunt, because I mean come on now, I mean you got to admit, when you saw Brock, I mean that dude would look like
jacked, jacked.
Yeah, so I mean and granted he was excluded from testing and all that. I mean come on now.
But in a sense though, I mean. Just like tomorrow night, we're going to see Overeem and Ngannou get it on. But those official weights that I don't know if you guys, again, shameless promo, our Instagram has those official weights on there. So if you don't know the official weights, go check them out. But what I was saying is that Ngannou is at like 260 something, 270.
Oh, yeah.
And Overeem's like at 240. Yeah, and and Overeem's like at 240 something. Like, these guys, like, once you're past 205, it doesn't even matter. I mean, it really doesn't. I mean, what is Brock, 285? I mean, he probably comes in about almost 300 pounds. I mean,
oh, yeah.
And he's not round. He's a big man.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get to the big boys, I mean, what does it really matter? I mean, at that point, even if I was taking steroids and I'm 300 pounds, I mean, how much agility do I have? How much technique do I have?
Exactly.
It's really just me banking on my strength, knocking you out.
Yeah. Landing that one punch,
And Brock learned that against Frank Mir in the first one. I mean, when he got caught with that knee bar, I mean, the same thing, with Alistair. I mean, you can't dodge, you can't run when you're 300 pounds.
Well, see, I mean, it's kind of funny because, how you said, technique goes out the door once you. I mean, at that weight, it's just. I mean, you got to look at the smaller guys. I mean, Stipe is the champ, but he's not a big champ. I mean, remember they were talking about.
Imagine Ngannou against Stipe.
Oh man, that's.
How monstrous is that man over Stipe?
Exactly. I mean, it's. I don't see. I mean. Who's I mean, Kane is recovering. I think he's coming back, mid next year. Even him against guys like Alistair and Ngannou, I mean, it's just they're big dudes, man. They're big guys, and it's just one of those things where I'm expecting a big brawl back and forth, but Alistair's a different fighter now. I mean, he's very, since he went to Jackson's. In Albuquerque, he's relying a lot on his technique now. When it used to be,
Stipe still smashed his fucking face into the ground.
Exactly, and but Overeem kind of caught him in the beginning. I mean, you kind of.
And he went for a guillotine, which didn't make any goddamn sense. But
exactly, I mean, you gotta kind of see he's not the same. I mean, he still has that power, but he's more of a, don't forget this dude's a, K1 freaking kickboxing champ, man, pride and all that. So
Well, I mean,
you know,
he's already earned his keep, but
oh yeah,
I mean, why does he? Well, I guess the UFC belt is the last
UFC's
belt.
the top. Yeah, that's
That's the
what I mean.
last
It's like,
belt he wants
yeah,
to win is the UFC heavyweight belt. Right,
this
but
dude,
there's guys like Francis Ngannou that are gonna stand in your way, dude. Stipe,
it's
well,
dangerous.
it's very dangerous for him to take this
Very
fight.
dangerous.
It's very dangerous.
But I
Ngannou
mean,
is monstrous.
but on the other side too, don't you feel like Ngannou has gotten the chance to? I mean, he has to fight these top level guys because I mean, his last fight with Arlovsky, I mean, just dude, Arlovsky just that was a dangerous fighter for Arlovsky, because Ngannou just smashed him. So I'm kind of glad that Ngannou's getting this chance, and
This
like
dude,
I said,
he got submissions too. I mean, against
oh
Anthony
yeah,
Hamilton, he put him in a Kimura and it was done.
yeah, it was a sick Kimura too, man. Very like to see a big guy do that, man. It's just like I said, it's nice when you see them have a little bit of technique and actually use some of their skills. Because it's I mean we know they're about the knockout, they have the power, but when you see them actually having a submission or two, or even you know like just working from the ground from the guard, it's cool to see that, definitely. But
That's why it's called mixed martial arts. I mean,
exactly,
let's
and it's let's mix it up.
yeah, let's
Or-
change it up. I mean, we enjoy the slobber knockers, as Jim Ross would say, but let's look at some technique. I know it might seem a little boring, but some cool technique, like some crazy shit,
yeah,
like Mighty Mouse jumping in the fucking air and putting you in an armbar, flipping you
or
over
even
in your armbar.
or that Verdum flying kick to Travis Brown. Like I've never. I know
What
you've
the
never seen
fuck?
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
you
was
were like,
that?
whoa. That was one of those things where you're like, oh man, what the heck?
And
But I mean,
that's a heavyweight.
yeah, he's a heavyweight. He's a heavyweight, man. What's the first fight on the main card?
On the main card, the first fight is Tisha Torres versus Michelle Watterson.
Oh man, I didn't. We normally don't do our picks till a few hours before the fight, right?
Right, but let
That's kind of
it's good to get this out of the system for right
yeah.
now, so that way we can kind of relax tomorrow and not get
Oh yeah,
shoot from the hip. Usually we shoot from the
right.
hip and do it
Exactly.
right then and there, but I saw the weigh-ins. I mean, speaking of somebody who need to be tested is Tisha Torres. She is like manly ripped. That is
well,
not.
she is being tested. She's like one of the
I heard. Yeah, I heard she's like
fighters.
the. I heard that
Yeah,
they visit her like
every
more than
day,
any
man.
fighter
It's a
ever.
routine. Yeah,
That's
she's
what I
on
heard.
the. I think she has to test for him before she wakes up and all that. As soon as she wakes up, she has to test for him. I mean,
Yeah,
I like me some karate hottie. I mean, she beat up my girl Paige. You know how I feel about Paige the last time. But I love me some Paige too. But then she lost against Rose, so she's looking for that comeback win. But Tisha Torres, man,
she's on the tear. I mean, she's winning, right? I
yeah,
mean, she hasn't lost in quite a bit.
yeah. So I mean, they're both. I mean, you from just the weigh-ins, you can see that Tisha has the body mass advantage. Michelle's more technical. She's gonna look for her strikes, her pinpoint strikes and all that. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's kind of like what can you pretty much counter with Tisha's power, Tisha's takedowns. You gotta Karate Hottie has to fight a little smart. She's had these girls that are not as big as Tisha, so
Well, yeah, she just choked out Juliana Lima, or
yeah,
and then she beat Beck Rollins, which was another way bigger girl than her.
yeah, exactly.
So, and that was a decision, but still, granted, like I said, I'm not doubting her technique, but she's out muscling these bigger girls. So let's not
Exactly.
think that Michelle Watterson's gonna hopefully not get choked out or anything. But
mean, it's a good matchup for her. Like I said, I think the main goal is to get back, and she really wants to fight for the title again. The same for Tisha. She's been on a tear too, and I got my pick for Michelle. I think she'll come out with the win. The back of my mind, at least, I'm thinking she'll come back.
Or you're hoping one of the two.
Right, exactly. Decision or knockout, but.
Well, we got Watterson as the underdog plus 205, and we got Tisha as the favorite negative 245. So we're talking that's a high favorite there.
Exactly.
We're talking $100 will win you 345. You will have to put down $205 to win only $100 with Michelle Watterson. So,
and I think they're forgetting about. I mean, they're looking at the.
Or no, the other way around. I'm sorry, I'm totally wrong. It's 245 to win 100 for Tisha Torres, and 100 to win 305 with Watterson because she's the underdog.
Underdog, yeah.
So it's possible, but
maybe. I mean, I'm thinking Tisha's 9-1, Michelle's 14-5. So, I mean, it's kind of you could pick whoever you want. I guess you could say
the number 5 and 6 in the strawweight division can. Yeah. Do you see any of them in the title picture for Rose's title?
Well, right now it's kind of hard because, I mean, it looks like Joanna's going to get the rematch, which she deserves.
Right.
I mean, she dominated for so long, but
right.
I mean, if I was to put another person in that, before Rose beat her, I would have said Michelle Watterson.
You think so? You think so?
Yeah, I mean, just because of where her background, she was, I'm pretty sure she was a champion in Invicta. I'm not sure, but it was kind of weird because she didn't really have a weight class in Invicta. I remember reading about her always, she was always taking a catch weight, so that kind of, messed up the little picture. But I mean, I remember Tisha from The Ultimate Fighter. I think it was Ronda and Misha, or I might be wrong. It was the one. It was the first inaugural, like, Ultimate Fighter. I think it was.
For what? For the belt?
Yeah, that was the first women's.
Yeah, wasn't it Rose against Carla Esparza or something? No, Carla Esparza versus
Rose. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Rose versus.
And Carla Esparza won, and then Joanna took the belt from Carla Esparza, didn't she?
Yeah, exactly. But I want to say that was the season with Ronda and Misha, but I'm not sure. I want to say that's it, but that's the only really chance I got to watch. Tisha, I really didn't get a chance to watch her before that, so it's that division is really hard because, like I said, it's still a work in progress. There's still a lot of girls that are fighting in that division. That kind of going up there.
I hear a little rumor about Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Is that what we say her name? Kowalkiewicz?
Yeah.
Versus Jessica Andrade in February.
That would be a good match too.
Now, granted that, I mean, we get Joanna in the rematch if she wants it. But if she doesn't and she wants to wait, I say the winner out of those two fight Rose.
Yeah, I mean, that could work too because I forgot about them. You're right. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Claudia Gadelha already got two shots.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, Carolina and Jessica got a shot, but
a chance each, yeah.
But Joanna already killed them all, so I mean.
Exactly. So it's a
new champ.
New champ.
New chances.
Mm-hmm.
We can see something change.
And I mean, it's open for them because either one of those will be a good fight for Rose, whether it's Jessica or whether it's Carolina. Either one of those is a difficult match for Rose.
They're both aggressive, crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Don't let that Carolina quiet.
Nope.
Fool you.
That whole leaning against the cage with her hands behind her back, looking innocent. I don't think so. I believe honestly, she was the one closest to beating Joanna before, and
Yeah,
she gave Joanna that big ass lump on her forehead, gave her like this big goose egg. I thought
and
she was I thought she was the
that,
closest.
that went to decision too.
Yeah,
It was
that one
almost
went all the
decision
way to
too.
decision.
It was close, man. Like I said, I'm glad that the women's divisions are hanging on. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad they're hanging on to that.
Well, I mean, with the new flyweight division, about to somebody's about to be crowned pretty soon here, and
The champ.
they're round 5 of 5 right now. But I mean, we got bantamweight and strawweight, and then the new flyweight division's about to pop off. We
That's
got a lot
good,
of people
man.
from strawweight wanting to go to the flyweight.
Right? Yeah. People, I mean,
Van Zant was actually trying to get the winner of tonight.
of tonight, right?
So I don't know where that's going. There might be a lot of jumpers. Hey, let me gain a couple more. It's okay to gain a couple pounds because I know that weight cut is a little hard to do.
But it's good though because it gives them options. They're not just stuck to one weight class. So that's kind of good. You're not. It's not a big of a jump from say a lightweight trying to go to heavyweight. So I'm glad that they have. Like I said, it's manageable. It's manageable from that point.
Well, yeah, but we won't see anybody from strawweight jump to like bantamweight and fight like Amanda
No,
Nunes or anything
no,
like
no,
that.
no, no. That's insane. Yeah, that's insane.
The
Yeah,
flyweight
that's
is just at least there's a middle ground because it was kind of like lightweight and then heavyweight with the women. That's all they had. But now we're gonna get this flyweight division. Hopefully that could change a little bit.
exactly. It's good, man. It's good for them. What's the next
So
fight
the
after
next
that?
one we got is Eddie Alvarez versus our hometown fighter Justin Gaethje.
Man, I don't know. This is gonna be a.
And they're fighting supposedly for the unannounced most violent fighter in the UFC. They say it's the most violent title fight. That's what it's called. They want to be called the most violent.
Well, I want to say
Are they
this
violent?
this fight. You know what? This fight is one of those fights where they're each fighting for something. Eddie got embarrassed his when he lost his belt to Connor, and then he after that it was the fight with Poirier, right? Yeah,
Right, and
where it was
that's where that got called because
exactly
of an illegal shot.
yeah. So it's kind of like Eddie Eddie didn't really get a chance to
Redeem himself.
redeem himself. Yeah, so he's kind of fighting for that. And Justin, man, still the new kid on the block. He had that Michael Johnson fight where he got rocked.
He's undefeated
What?
though. He's
He's
undefeated.
undefeated. Oh yeah, man. I mean, he was tearing it up over there in the World Series of Fighting, man. He was their champ over there. But this is different level. I don't want to take nothing away from those guys over there, but this is different competition over here. It's the reason why these guys are the top guys. And I mean, Justin is just he comes at you, man. I mean, I caught the replay of the Michael Johnson fight, and man, that dude. I mean, he got rocked a few times, man. A few times, and
Wobbly.
then
He was wobbly.
yes, and he was just coming back, man. And Michael Johnson's not no pushover, man. That dude's that we met that dude. That dude's a good, decent size and wrestling pedigree, and but I mean, it's just Justin has that killer instinct, man. He's coming at you, dude. He almost baits you in, and then kind of plays with you a little bit,
Well, on
you know.
paper, he is better than Eddie Alvarez,
Oh
but
yeah,
we can't really count out the underground king
right.
because
No, no.
he was
A,
champ.
mo-
I mean, he was champ.
a motivated Eddie Alvarez is very dangerous. Very dangerous. You don't want to take him lightly.
We could see some dirty boxing.
Oh yeah. I mean, even to say, I mean, there might be some good takedowns because I mean, if I was Eddie, I wouldn't test Gagey right away. Because Gagey has knockout power, definitely to stun you. But I'd play with him a little bit, get him on the cage. Like you said, a little bit of dirty boxing. That's to me, that's his way of getting it. But like I said, Gagey just comes back, bro. Like that dude.
Take Gagey to the ground. I mean, I'm going.
Yeah.
I like Justin Gaethje, but we need to get him on the ground and see what he can do.
Exactly.
Let's see what he can do on the ground.
And granted, I mean, you have Eddie Alvarez who has a little bit more experience. To me, he's the bigger guy, not by a lot, but just size wise, he's the bigger guy.
Well, he's taller than Eddie.
Right, and that's the thing that they're both wrestlers, and they both got good stand up. I mean, you've seen Eddie stand up. When he's on point, he's on point. But also, you've seen Eddie where he gets
he gets a little chinny. He gets a little chinny.
Exactly.
You know, that chin gets a little soft and he gets a little wobbly.
That's the dangerous part of playing Gagey's game is can your chin hold up? That's the thing. Like,
and not to interrupt this situation, but I just want to announce that Nico Montano just won the UFC Tough Finale. She's the new flyweight women's champ. Nico Montano, new champ. She will be probably fighting Paige or somebody crazy pretty soon, so keep an eye out on her.
Big ups to her.
Congratulations on that.
Was she a fill-in too? Or
No. She's not a fill-in, but she is the first Native American women's champion in the UFC.
Oh, right on.
It's from what I hear.
Congrats to her, yeah. First Native.
And we know for a fact most tough winners go on to do good things. I mean,
oh yeah.
I was watching like the top 10 tough moments on FS1 the other day, and they were showing all the winners. You know, I mean, big names, winners.
Oh yeah, past from now. I mean, those guys, anywhere from Nate to Michael Bisping to Tony Ferguson.
I was watching. I think it was Forrest Griffin and Stephen Bonner.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, dude! What the hell was going on there? It was like two drunk men just fighting, like just nonstop. Like I don't even know who won. I think Forrest won, but they still. I think what ended up happening, Dana gave them both.
Yeah, Dana gave them both contracts. I mean, it was just they put up a hell. They put that fight put the UFC on the map, man. That fight put
ridiculous.
That was the first. It was
ridiculous.
It was
well, it was a free. Well, the thing was they're trying to promote free fights. It was free marketing. Mm-hmm. And man, that fight was ridiculous. If you haven't seen that fight, go check that fight out. Please.
Will not be disappointed.
I do not even. I'm not. I don't even go as that far back as you do, and believe me, I was very entertained. Very
entertained. Good, man. And that's all it takes, man. That's all it takes to draw the people in. Yeah, I get it nowadays. You know, the people want to see the flash knockouts. These guys.
Right. I bring it up because I feel that this Alvarez and Gaethje fight might be that. These two guys might be that fight. Where they're both wobbly and they're still both fighting.
You feel that Diego Sanchez, kind of vibe. They're kind of fighting. None of them will go down. I think it could come up to that. I think it's possible. I mean, it definitely, like I said, has fireworks around it, man.
Well, I mean, the Poirier Alvarez fight. I mean, granted that there was an illegal shot given and the fight got stopped, but before that, they were both going at it.
Right.
They were both, getting rocked. So I think we both can say that fight probably needs to happen again. Eventually. I mean, I don't see
down the road, yeah.
I don't see Poirier. I mean he's winning, but
he's on a tear, yeah.
I don't see him going all the way up there yet. Not yet. So
I mean, it's definitely one of those things where I have Gaethje. We got to support the hometown.
Yeah, I'm definitely shooting for Gaethje to at least pull something to pull out. Hopefully at the end, something exciting.
I see it as I see it going the distance. I mean, I see Gagey coming out on top just as the momentum and just like I said, this dude's. I mean, he's a different fighter, man. I kind of believe what he says. That's the thing. He can back it up. He can definitely back it up.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping we see that come tomorrow night.
Come tomorrow night.
So next on the card we have Henry Cejudo versus Sergio Pettis.
See, this one I'm interested in because Sergio's out of Big Brother's shadow.
Well, yeah, because he's losing.
Exactly, but I mean, he's a young kid. I mean, Henry Cejudo's not too bad either. He the last performance against it was a knockout against Wilson Hayes, I believe. I mean, he's developing pretty good. He took that. I mean, he learned a lot from that Demetrius Johnson fight, which I don't think he was ready for. They shouldn't have put him in there, but
no, he got taken out very easily compared to what we seen him do.
What we seen before, yeah. So I mean, it's
another hometown Arizona fighter.
Exactly, yeah. I'm going for Henry just because of like I said, what he's doing now. Sergio's still young. Sergio has talent. He's still young. This is a good test for him. He's fighting, a well-rounded guy, bigger guy.
I see Cejudo going in there and dominating, man. I honestly, from the last fight, I don't think Sergio is that experienced to take on something like what
Henry.
What Cejudo has done in the past, because granted, I mean, Duke Rufus is doing an awesome job with everybody out there at his gym, but in a sense, like you said, he has more time to develop. I mean, he's on a four fight winning streak. I mean, but I think he's not as exciting as Showtime. I don't think he's exciting as Showtime.
No, and I mean this is the perfect time for him because, like I said, you're seeing his development. You're seeing him rise, and at the same time, this is a good win or lose. It's good for him, because you're learning. Like I said, you're fighting. Cejudo is the top of the top. I mean, what's he ranked right now? Is he still
number 2?
Top? Oh yeah, so, I mean,
number 2.
And you're still fighting a top level guy, so it's very hard in that division because Demetrius runs that whole division up and down, so circles all day, so it's kind of hard to separate yourself from other fighters. But this is a good test for him. He's climbing the ladder. He's developing, and props to Duke Rufus because you see the guys that come out of there. I mean, Showtime was a champ, lightweight champ. So
well, Tyron Woodley's still the champ. So I mean,
exactly, yeah, Tyron Woodley too. Yeah, so they're doing good things.
They're still a championship gym, granted.
Exactly, yeah. So I mean, but like experience has a lot to do with it too, especially age. I think Cejudo's in his 30s. Sergio is still 20, maybe 24, 23, 24. That counts a lot, especially, like I said, at that, that's might be Cejudo's peak. It might be Sergio's peak. Who knows? But
yeah, 24 years old. I mean, he got enough time to become something big.
Definitely a good fight to see. I mean, I see Cejudo coming out on top.
I mean, let's touch on that division a little. Why is Joseph Benavidez still number 1? Maybe you can tell me.
Joseph's had 2 chances at Demetrius.
Is it because his wife is Megan O'Leary, or
came up a little bit? Maybe she's, you gotta put that into factor too. You gotta get the what is it, the employee discount there. You gotta get the give him a little bit of a.
Well, I guess he did beat Cejudo in December of last year. Last year, though, I mean, he hasn't been active for a whole year, and he's still number 1. How is he still number 1 and he hasn't been active for a whole year?
The rankings are a little weird because there's there's guys that are top in the top 5, and you're thinking like, what the hell? Like, why is this guy even in the top 5, or why is this guy sitting at number 1?
And he's fought DJ twice.
Yeah, and lost twice. So it's one of those weird things. He's still on top. He's still one of the guys. I think record wise, because Joseph's had more fights. Remember, Cejudo's record he's still relatively new. I mean, you got 11 wins, 2 losses still. So
but he's 30.
And he's 30. Yeah, he started a little bit late into the game. Yeah, the rankings, man, they're a little weird there. Who do they have at number 2?
Cejudo. Borg is still at 3.
Borg's still at 3, which he just fought.
Right.
I don't know, man.
But like Joe was saying, though, once you lose, you should drop down big time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, whoever beats you, like, say tomorrow Sergio beats Cejudo. Cejudo's number 2. Pettis is number 4. At that point, when you lose to number 4, that's where you go. And then Sergio would move to 2.
Right.
That's how it goes. That's how rankings are supposed to go.
Unless you're a champion. Unless you're a former champion. Like, if you dominated that class for so long, I think you deserve to, like in Joanna's case, even Aldo's case, those 2 fighters should be still in the top 2, because of how long they dominated that weight class. But you're right, in this situation, a number 4 guy fighting a number 2 guy, or a number 5 guy fighting a number 2 guy, they should be reversed, if the other person wins. But man, it's really difficult to talk about rankings with everything that's going on in the UFC.
There's too much going on. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, you saw, GSP come in right away and leapfrog all the other guys.
In pound for pound, he's number 2 pound for pound.
Exactly. So
over Conor. After 4 years being gone.
Yeah, and like I said, rankings right now is kind of hard, and even with a potential TJ Dillashaw Demetrius Johnson fight.
How did Joanna go from being like in the top 3 or 4 and pound for pound all the way down to 15?
Oh man,
how?
She dropped that much?
To 15 on pound for pound.
Oh damn!
How was that even possible?
And dude, she dominated that weight class, man. I don't understand how. I don't know. I honestly don't know how they're ranking the people. I would still have her at number 1.
Wouldn't you? Who besides being beat by Rose, really? Demetrius does deserve to be number 1, but she should be at least number 2. She got beat 1 time.
Right.
Why GSP on number 2 for? Why?
It's just one of those things that I'm telling you.
Are we going off a popularity contest, or are we going off of recent standings? Like, who have you beat lately? Like Cormier, why is he above Dillashaw? Why is he above Stipe? Why is he above Tyron? Tony. Why is he all the way up there? He just lost. He lost twice to John Jones.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's kind of weird, man, how they have the rankings. I honestly wouldn't even know how to rank them. I wouldn't even know how to put them in order. I would have to put DJ up there because that dude's been dominating since he got the belt. That dude's he hasn't lost in his weight class, but you know how I feel about that. If you clean out our division, go on to the next.
But who's he gonna fight in the division now? The only person he really hasn't fought is Sergio.
Exactly.
So
and that's the thing about these, the guys. It's very debatable if you put him on the top pound for pound, greatest of all time, because the level of competition that he's had has not been the level of competition of an Aldo or an Anderson Silva. These guys, man, these guys fought the best guys in the. You saw the Chad Mendes fights with Aldo. I mean, you saw, him fight Frankie Edgar twice. I mean, Anderson Silva went up to light heavyweight and fought Forrest Griffin at one point. I mean, it's these guys are fighting the best of the best, so it's kind of hard to put DJ up there and say, oh yeah, this guy's the most dominant champion.
Where has he moved? He hasn't moved anywhere.
Exactly.
He hasn't done anything in any other division.
And you know what? And even like I said, even Sergio's the only guy that he hasn't fought in that division. Like I said, and Sergio's rising up. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of, it's crazy, man. The rankings are really messed up right now. It's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah. We got.
I wouldn't know how to tell you.
All right. Well, let's move on to Alistair Overeem versus Francis Ngannou. Monsters, Clash of Titans.
This is
the Predator versus the Demolition Man.
Oh yeah, man. This is like your Godzilla versus King Kong kind of fight.
Yeah, this is what we're gonna see. We're gonna see two monstrous men fight each other, and somebody's gonna get hurt. Somebody.
Someone will go down.
I have a bad feeling it's gonna be Ngannou.
You think so? Oh man.
I don't know.
But you know what? No, I can agree with you with that. I can, Alistair is the more experienced fighter. I think why you say Ngannou might go down is because you haven't seen all of Ngannou's weapons yet. And with Alistair, I mean, you saw from his.
I just see Alistair throwing leg kicks, and it's gonna be brutal with these leg kicks because nobody can stop those leg kicks. Did you see what he did to Mark Hunt? We saw that live. He knocked Mark Hunt out with legs.
Oh man, it's very tricky for this fight because Ngannou has the power. Now, Overeem's not the same fighter that he was coming into the UFC Brock Lesnar fight, or he's very. That chin's been tested too. I mean, we saw he's had. Oh man, from the Travis Brown knockout to Bigfoot Silva knocked him out to. I mean, what was Alistair's last big win? I think Junior Dos Santos, right? He knocked him out. I mean, you saw him with Stipe. I mean, Stipe worked him after.
He was running, dude. He was literally running from Stipe, like running around the ring.
I think I think moving to Jackson Wink up in Albuquerque helped him a lot because I think they told him, you got to use all of your tools because Alistair Overeem with the Black Zillions in Florida, he was just the monster Overeem,
I mean, he did beat Fabricio Verdum in July. I mean, he's different. He's different.
Yeah, he's coming off of that.
He's a little different, but
I mean, you have to know that going in there with Francis, he's gonna.
He has to kick the dude. He can't fight the guy with fists because Ngannou has hammers on his. He has big boulders on his fist. I mean, he's gonna do damage.
He's a big dude, man. He is a big dude. I saw him in the countdown, getting fitted for suits, man.
Well, what about that picture where he has with Conor? He has a picture with Conor. Conor has his shirt off, and they're at like the Performance Center, and Ngannou is just monstrous, dude. We're talking over 100 pounds bigger than Conor.
No, and what amazes me is that he's just naturally like that, dude. That dude is just, he's from Cameroon. I mean, that dude's just eating, he's eating all that natural stuff out there.
So. What about Alistair saying that he doesn't know how old he is?
Show me the birth certificate?
Yeah, he's older than he says he is. Because it's saying that he's 31 years old.
Right.
He does look like an old man though. Not an old man, but older man.
He looks like he's in his 30s. I mean,
yeah,
it's just that
I guess
he doesn't have a lot of wear and tear like Alistair does. I mean, it's just Ngannou's just, he's coming in with the momentum. This is a very, very good little, good test for him. How to overcome former, you know, Alistair was a Strikeforce champ. He was, a Dream champ.
I think it's a better matchup than when he was going to fight the Beast.
Right.
The Black Beast. I mean, because I think that was going to be, I don't know, slow.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that would have been more of your classic, just go at it, swing for the fences kind of fight. Because Black Beast doesn't really have anything else but just a stand up. I mean,
but no kind of stamina.
Yeah, exactly, no kind of stamina. So Francis will probably steamroll him. Just mop the floor with him. So
Overeem weighed in at 247, and Ngannou weighed in at 262. Now on their fight profiles on UFC, it has the opposite. It has Overeem at 265 and Ngannou at 250.
At 250,
which is the total opposite of what the weigh-in was today.
Granted, they're probably using the old. They're probably using the pre.
It must be the juiced Alistair because 265. He's not 265 anymore.
The Ubereem.
We seen Alistair. Remember when we were at 196? We saw Alistair walk by.
Yeah, I think even Herb Dean looked bigger than him. Herb Dean passed by too. I'm telling you.
But it says he's is he 6'3" or what is he? It didn't seem like he was 6'3".
Yeah, they list him at 6'3". I don't know, dude, because I was surrounded.
He's listed as 6'4".
I was surrounded by the giants of Edge and Christian.
Oh yeah.
Those
dudes were like 6'6", 6'7". Those were.
They made everybody look small, but Alistair, they list him at 6'3".
6'4". They have him at 6'4".
Yeah. Ngannou's definitely 6'5". He looked bigger than him, way bigger than him. The stare down was kind of funny. I don't know if you caught the stare down at the weigh-ins.
No.
It was kind of funny. It was just Overeem just kind of like hunched down a little bit, just kept looking at him, and then just Francis just kind of walked away. Like he stood there looking at him, and he just kind of just backed up and walked away. Like nothing said, nothing, just looking at him.
I mean, there's not really. What we're gonna see tomorrow is gonna be, like I said, fireworks. It's not gonna be pretty. It's not gonna be technical. It's not gonna be anything, we're expecting as far as like.
I don't see Overeem. I see Overeem kind of like being more technical. Because Overeem does not want to get hit, bro. I mean, it's one hit from Francis, you're out. It's just you get caught from him. It's good night.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I just hope to see somebody get knocked the hell out, which I think I'm gonna see. But I normally will go with the.
I got Ngannou just because of. I mean, the dude's a beast. I could definitely see him challenging Steve.
He's the favorite. He is the favorite.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah, Ngannou's the favorite, 250. And Alistair's the underdog, 210.
Oh, man.
Really strange, but. Because you usually would think experience would be like.
Right, you would think experience would have
the edge on it.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was the co-main event. This is the main event. Max Blessed Holloway versus Jose Aldo.
The rematch.
I was gonna give him a nickname, but there's too many. There's too many people.
Junior, pretty much. Yeah. Junior, pretty much. Not really a big nickname. So this is Aldo is the replacement to Edgar, which Edgar had something to do with his orbital.
Yeah, his eye. Kind of like what Bisping had when Henderson basically broke his eye socket.
Oh, man.
So there's no way that he could have fought with that thing so fragile. Probably his eyeball would have fell in his head.
Oh, that tells you what kind of training camp Frankie's in. If you have a guy that damaged your orbital in training camp, then
What?
I would
Tell
not have
tell
that
me
guy.
tell me why would we not pull Cub and put him in that title fight?
What was Cub's last fight?
Cub Swanson, man. Like, I haven't followed the guy for that long, but man, every time I see that dude fight, like it's a ridiculous, entertaining fight.
Yeah, Cub's gone good, man. What was Cub's last fight?
His last fight was against Artem. He beat Artem.
I didn't catch that one.
He
How did
beat
that
he
one
beat
go?
Artem in Nashville. It was a decision, but and I like Artem because obviously SBG and Connor was there, and that was when he first started beefing with that referee because that referee kept telling him to sit down. But anyway, Cub ended up beating him by decision. And then the Do Hoi Choi fight, Do Ho Choi, that fight.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that one? I showed you that one, and it was basically two zombies just like slugging it out at 206. Ridiculous.
Well, I mean, you gotta understand that.
I think because he lost against Holloway though too.
Yeah, and because you gotta remember Aldo dominated that weight class for so many years, man. It's like you owe it to him. I mean, you kind of owe it to him to kind of redeem himself.
But how many chances has he already got? Max Holloway beat him.
Yeah, but
already.
Supposedly he was injured going into the first fight, and I remember telling you that I did not see no leg kicks from Aldo, because I remember I was telling you going into that fight leg kicks all day, and no, I mean supposedly his leg was injured or he had an injury to the leg, so he wasn't throwing any leg kicks, but at the same time. Holloway was just getting at him, man. It was just
he's longer. And
I was gonna tell you that too. So look at all the fights that you've seen from Aldo, where he's beat these guys embarrassingly. How many of these guys were bigger than him? Like tall wise, of course. I know Chad Mendes is bigger than every fucking guy in that division, but like tall wise, I think Aldo struggles.
I don't see anybody. I mean, he got Uriah, you got Kenny Florian, Mendez.
So you see
Edgar.
him. Yeah, I mean, you see him struggle with Max because Max is a longer fighter.
Well, that's why Connor took care of him in 13 seconds.
Exactly.
That reach is.
Yeah, so I think that bothers him a little bit too much. I think, and a lot of people say this too. When you're a fighter in a weight class that you dominate for so long, and you're just making these guys look like they don't belong in there, and all of a sudden you're in a fight where you're getting hit left and right. I think that kind of like the little bit of a like scare kicks in where you're like, oh damn, I can get hit now, but I'm used to the one hitting these guys and dominating these guys. So I think with Holloway, Holloway has good stand up, man. I mean, you saw what he did to Pettis, you saw what he did, and to the guys before he fought Aldo. I mean, this dude's stand up is on point. I mean, he has every right to be the champ.
Well, Pettis tapped out because those kicks, man, to the body, man, those punches were just raining on his body, dude. There was no way out of that. Up against the cage, getting smashed. The organs were getting smashed.
Oh yeah. So I mean, I see Holloway kind of doing the same, but more. I think he's gonna go for faster, like. He's gonna get to work faster. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna get to work early. He's gonna be like, I don't want this to drag on. I'm gonna finish him. It's hard to put my money on Aldo because I've seen fighters where it's almost like it's not your time anymore. These other fighters are evolving.
He's the underdog. Now he's the underdog.
And I think it's a lot harder for him in this fight because he has more to prove in this fight than anything. Because now it's like, okay, I gotta get my belt back, but if I lose, I'm stepping back not just one spot but maybe several. So it's it's one of those fights where he's out there to prove something too. But I mean, Max
were you really impressed with the Frankie Edgar at UFC 200?
No.
I mean, I didn't really see anything that said, "Wow, Aldo, there goes the guy that we've missed for 10 years,
for a long time.
yeah, whooping everybody. I didn't see that. And like I told you, I didn't know nothing about Aldo. All I seen was him get knocked out in 13 seconds. And then he came back at 200. Nothing. It was just a plain old dude fighting Frankie Edgar, got a decision, and that was that.
It's very hard to.
And then get knocked out by Max Holloway.
Yeah, and get embarrassed. Like
right after that.
Mm-hmm.
So where are we with that? I mean,
I see Holloway still keeping the title. It's Holloway's in his prime. He has that momentum with him. He's a champ. He's like I said, he's one of those guys that just keeps getting better when I see him, man. It's every time. So
can Holloway hang with Conor right now?
No, I don't think. I mean,
do you think it will be the same result as before, or do you think now he actually has a chance?
That's a good question.
I mean, we're not. Of course, everybody always says we're so biased with Conor, but I'm trying to make it even a little bit more interesting. I'm trying to make it a little more interesting.
Well, I think it's almost like I think Conor is the Mayweather of the UFC.
Well, he's gonna pick and choose who he wants to fight.
Yeah,
obviously.
exactly. And there's everybody wants the piece of the pie. So, but I mean, it's for Holloway. Let's just say after this fight, I'll tell you. I still need to see this one fight with Aldo to see was the first fight a fluke or has Holloway the real champ? I got to see after this fight.
But how many times are people going to give Aldo a chance to keep coming back over and over and over again?
I mean, after this one, if Aldo goes into this one and loses, I wouldn't give him another chance. You have to let the other guys, like Cub, get their shot.
But Cub's a veteran. Granted, I didn't realize that Cub has lost to Max Holloway. He's lost to Jose Aldo.
Yeah, both. Yeah, I mean with Holloway he lost with the guillotine. Aldo, I think Aldo.
It was like a flying knee or something.
Yeah.
From Aldo that took Cub out. But Cub is elevated. Cub has changed. I like.
Oh yeah.
But again, that's kind of he relies on that chin, like kind of like Gaethje, and they rely on those chins. I don't think their chin is as strong as they think it is.
I think it's like you said. They have to put on exciting fights, and they have to kind of see. I mean, the Cub and Holloway would have been a good fight too.
That's the one I wanted to see.
Yeah, but I think they wanted to say, okay, well, let's just see. Let's give.
Why has Aldo remained number one on the featherweight division?
I think just of that, the respect of being the champ before. I think just of that, okay.
Again, we're going based off of popularity. We're not going based off of loss or wins.
No, and I think that's why. I mean, I think they're looking at it like, hey, it's almost like you did a service for us. We'll do the service for you. But I'm pretty sure in the back of the mind, they're saying, okay, if you lose this one, you got to put in work after that. We can't give you. I mean, there's guys that walk through hell, man, just to get to a title shot. I mean, Stipe is a good example because Stipe, look for how long, man, Stipe. There's these guys that I mean, I think Cub is due his chance. I mean, Cub deserves a title shot. I mean,
give him a shot. He might win. I mean, we want to see it. And I know, like I said, a lot of people don't like Michael Bisping, but in a sense, he was the same situation. He fought for years and years in the UFC, never got a title fight, and then the 1 minute they give him a title shot, he wins the belt. Granted, he lost it, and whatever may had happened after that, he shouldn't have fought Dan Henderson. That was not right for the rankings. Obviously, he ducked and dodged. Romero and ended up fighting, other people, fighting GSP and all that. Like, I get it, but
Hmm.
in a sense, like, I guess everybody wants to see that dream come true for those people that been in the game for a long time.
Oh yeah,
Like, I would
and I
love to
mean,
see Cub Swanson fight and win the featherweight title.
and I think if Max comes out with this one, I think Cub is the logical choice next. I mean, because you can't really say, oh, well, let's wait for Frankie to get better and then Frankie get a shot. I mean, because Frankie lost to Aldo, and then Frankie had to win against Yair Pantera. So, but Cub, the same thing goes for Cub. I mean, Cub's been on a tear, so
What about the number one featherweight that knocks people out when he puts their hands on them? They sleep. Jeremy Stevens. He, he's supposed to fight. He's gonna
he's
fight
fighting.
Doho Choi.
There you go. Yeah, he's
He
fighting.
that
Yeah.
that might be a slugfest too, like we saw against Cub.
Hmm.
Doho Choi, that boy can stand. The Asian guy can go for it.
But I mean, don't you kind of like that? At least these weight classes you have options versus in the past you didn't have options because you were like, man, who's left? Like who's at least now you have a few options to go with. There's weight classes that are kind of stagnant. There's light heavyweight that's kind of like heavyweight's kind of like almost there. You kind of have ain't got
What's the best division right now?
the best division in my eyes right now. It has to be the lightweight division, just because. Granted, and now people are gonna say, "Oh, because of Connor's there." Yeah, because Connor's there. But look at the guys that are in line. I mean, you have, oh man, you just have
Khabib,
these guys. Yeah, you have that Khabib Barboza. You
Barboza,
have, oh man, you have Tony. You have Gage. You have Alvarez. You have Poirier. You have, oh, man, you
Kevin
name it.
Lee,
It's just Kevin Lee. There you
Michael
go. Yeah,
Chiesa,
Michael Chiesa. Yeah. So I mean, you have
Alan Quinta. I mean those Michael
what is?
Johnson.
Oh, dude, and one of the sleeper fights is in the prelims. Charles Oliveira versus Paul Felder. That too, man. I'm
That's the
telling
main.
you, they.
That's the main event.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, those. It's stacked, bro. It's stacked. I mean, it's
That Irish
to me.
Dragon.
Yeah, to me, that's the weight class. I mean, just because of, like I said, the talent that's in there.
That hey,
Then,
don't sleep on that Alex Oliveira, the Cowboy versus Yancy Medeiros.
yeah,
Don't sleep on that one either, because that one's gonna be a good one too.
that's Holloway's boy. They trained together, Yancy. Yeah,
So
they had a little push and shove in the at the weigh-ins. That's a good one. So I'm telling you, I mean, even the David Tamer and Drakkar fight, dude, the undercard is just good, man. I'm telling you, the
Felice
prelims are
Herrig,
good.
Courtney Casey,
Yeah. So I mean, everywhere, and you got Amanda Cooper and Angela Magana. That's oh man, I love me some Amanda Cooper. Oh man, I'm telling you, it's just stacked, man. I'm telling you, I like this because me for a long time I was telling you, man, I want to see stacked cards.
What
I
about
want to
that
see.
guy Homasi? He's called the Problem. Wasn't somebody else called the Problem too? Isn't what's his name? What's that guy? The Problem.
Problem.
Doesn't that sound familiar?
The problem. Hmm.
He's a middleweight fighter. Or who was called the Problem?
I know it sounds familiar. Yeah. I can't remember. That's true. I remember. Yeah. Dude, it's good right now, man. It's just, and now you have like you said earlier the new the new champion for the women. What is it? The
Flyweight.
flyweight. So yeah, man, it's a perfect time for UFC, man. It's perfect for people that are not familiar with the UFC to get in it now. It's very entertaining, man. It's worth it. And then there was even people when Bisping fought GSP, they didn't even know who the hell GSP was.
Well, yeah, I mean those are
So
your new people. Those are new fans.
yeah,
They
so I
don't know
mean,
who that is.
so now
This
it's
this was my technically like officially first ever fight of me seeing GSP, because I've only heard and I've only seen old fights. I've never seen one like up front.
Man, it's good right now. It's where it's at right now is perfect. I mean, there's a few injuries. There's guys that are coming back, and everybody's waiting for Connor's move too, man. So I mean, it's exciting, bro. It's very exciting, man. I'm happy for, like I said, a lot of these fights, man. It's very good.
I don't know, man. That middleweight division looking good though.
That too. I mean, that too.
I want to see Whitaker fight GSP.
I want to see Whitaker fight Gastelum. Just because I want to give Gastelum. Gastelum is a small middleweight, man, for that class, but that dude can hit.
But
he's a damn.
Dude, who is GSP really gonna match up with right now in that division? I mean, these dudes are monstrous. We seen Chris Weidman standing next to Tyron Woodley. Monstrous, huge dude. How is GSP? I mean, Bisping was huge to GSP.
Oh yeah.
So imagine Luke Rockhold standing next to him.
Jacare? You're well, yeah, man. These dudes are
Brunson,
monsters, bro.
Even Silva. Those dudes are huge.
Well,
GSP's not staying in that division, dude. I promise you.
Yeah.
I promise you.
I don't know. You're usually the one that's on top of all the news. What was a crazy thing that I heard was that GSP would drop to 170 and meet Conor for a super fight at 170.
I don't. Why would we want Conor to go to 150 or 170?
I guess for all the pay-per-view buys and the spectacle of that, I guess maybe. But that could be the big money maker there, just because of, like I said, both of the names. But I mean, there's two perspectives to it. There's the fight that you want to see, an actual fight of actual like rankings and how it goes, and there's the super fights that you want to see. Of course, the Dillashaw versus Johnson, the GSP versus Conor. You want to see those. But then there's the fights where it's the Tony Ferguson versus Conor, the Sergio Pettis versus DJ. It's difficult, man. It's difficult to kind of.
But I mean, why have rankings if we're gonna have all these mixed up fights? I mean, I'm saying why have weight divisions? Because before it was never with no weight division. Remember when UFC first started, it was whoever fought whoever, and that's just what it was.
Oh, yeah. Hoist Gracie fought Ken Shamrock.
I'm saying like it doesn't matter on weight. I guess. I mean, I guess it's limited. I guess.
Well, I mean, because you gotta understand. Well, put your perspective as a fighter. I mean, you only get one chance to really make that money. I mean, do you blame Nate wanting $15 million to fight Woodley?
Yeah, I do blame Nate. I do blame Nate because he's not the draw that he thinks he is.
Right, exactly.
I mean, what really would he make over $1 million pay-per-view buys? Because the GSP one didn't even make over $1 million pay-per-view buys.
Oh, when he fought.
I think they were saying like 800,000.
Right. Yeah. I mean, dude, it's just it's hard, man. It's really. I guess that's why we're not matchmakers. I mean, if we were the matchmakers, we'd be making these crazy ass fights. We would be telling them, hey, you're gonna fight this dude. I don't give a shit if you want 15 million or you want 1 million. You're gonna fight this dude.
How does Nate even have the right to be like, shut up, you bitch, on Instagram to Dana White? I mean, should I go to work tomorrow and be like, tell my boss, shut up, you bitch, shut up, you bitch, don't tell me you're lying.
Give me 15 million.
I want that 15 million in my account. Come on, man. It's either you fight or don't. Break the contract or don't. I mean, I'm already tired of hearing about that dude. Like, I mean, I like the Diaz brothers and everything. Over, I'm over hearing about them because they're not wanting to fight.
Is it almost like you feel like, okay, the longer Nate drags it on, the less it's almost like the less it makes him marketable? You think like, okay,
He's losing his
let
heat. He's losing all the
yeah,
heat that he got from the Conor fight. He's losing all that heat.
like, do you feel like, okay, you keep dragging this on, and then the day that you come back to fight somebody, you're not gonna fight the person that's gonna be as big as a draw,
I honestly see him not fighting.
like a Poirier versus Diaz. Like, it comes back to that.
It's not
You
gonna
know what I'm saying?
happen.
Like, right? Like, he's not gonna. Oh, I'm saying in the point of view of the UFC. Like, do you think, Dana and Sean Shelby are like, you know what, dude, fine, don't fight. And then the day he comes to fight, here you go, Dustin Poirier or Eddie Alvarez. Like, it's not gonna be what he wants, and there's not gonna be that room of, oh shit, like you say, I lost all the juice already. Like, it's like you keep squeezing that juice box. I mean,
There's nothing. I mean, if he's done, he's done.
yeah.
Like, just call it quits. Like,
There's no
don't.
such there's no such thing as waiting for these
I doubt if Connor's
$15 million fights.
if Connor's smart, he's not gonna fight him again.
No. And remember, I told you I wouldn't. Why would I do
Why?
that?
There's no reason to fight him again.
Especially at 155, where Nate's dominant at 155. Like, you had trouble with him at 170. Why would you go at 155 where he's a natural at that weight class and he's been fighting longer at that weight class? I mean, but yeah, Connor's one of those dudes that'll go in your backyard and fight you. So I don't know. It's one of those. I mean, it's hard, man. It's just I wouldn't want Sean Shelby's job right now. I mean, he's, like I say, he gets paid for good. I mean, to make these fights happen. So in my eyes, it's right now. You're trying to get as much as you can. I mean, I don't know if you saw Max at the countdown. Dude's balling, getting Charger and getting suits and everything. So
Yeah, he gets a badass charger.
yeah, it gets the perks with being champ. You know what I'm saying? That was probably his biggest payday. I don't know exactly how much it was, when he fought Aldo, but that's probably one of his biggest paydays. I mean,
And winning. You know, he got a winning
yeah,
bonus.
exactly. So I mean, a little bit of that comes into where, I mean, it's like you almost want the UFC to beg you. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what Nate's feeling like. I don't need a fight. I don't give a fuck. Fuck, I can go. He's more popular outside of the cage now than ever. You saw him going on, these conventions, being on Conan O'Brien and all that. Like, dude, the popular Conor gave him that popularity. Hey, you go do your promo stuff. I'm gonna sit back. So I mean, he saw the other side. So now it's like, okay, I'm gonna use that against the UFC. So it's very difficult, man. It's one of those situations where you kind of want to be like whatever, but then at the same time, kind of be like, well, I mean, shit.
I mean, I want to see him. I'm not saying I don't want to see him. I do want to see him fight, but
It's exciting to watch him
do
fight.
am I willing to hear about Dana giving in and saying, "Oh, here's 15 million"? No, not really, because I don't think he's worth that. And I constantly deal with Instagram people that get on me about other crap about Connor maybe or whatever they might think, but then it always turns into a DS thing, and people get all they want to fight on Instagram. I'm like, wait a minute, this is a sport, dude. It's not a. I'm not calling your uncle or your cousin, your mom or anybody any bad names. What I'm telling you is that Diaz is a legend. His brother's a legend. These guys are top of the line, but they can't make demands right now where they stand at. In the situation they're in, they cannot make demands to get that much money.
Exactly.
And people get offended by it. They're really offended by it. I'm not trying to offend nobody, but that's how it is.
You gotta understand. It's almost like a bad guy thing. Like, well, why? It's almost like they're picking on him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if it was true or not. I mean, I maybe there was an offer made to fight Woodley, and I don't know. I mean, it's just, I mean, wouldn't you think you'd wanna fight for the belt? I mean, or are you that consumed over Connor that that's the only dude you want to fight because you're for sure gonna bank on it? But
He would make money with Woodley. Why does he think he wouldn't make money
yeah,
with Woodley?
I would see that. I remember I told you I wanted to see. I would see that, man. I would see whether it's him, whether it's Nate or Nick fighting Woodley. I would see it because it's a good matchup for him. You know, that's good payday for either of them. But like I said, it's just, I mean, make demands when you have not done nothing. You know, when you're not even making a move, when you're just sitting back chilling. Okay, I want 15 mil. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, you want 15 mil? Go box somebody. Do what Connor did.
Go do something. Stay active. Go
Exactly.
change the way people see you as far as like what you're doing. Oh, Nate's still he's doing his thing out there. He's all we hear about is you making appearances at weed conventions. How is that doing anything?
And mind you, Nate never did this until he fought Connor. Once he fought Connor, he was like, oh damn, like okay.
He wants to be in the public eye. He wants to be publicized, and
it was almost like it took me 10 years going through wars, going through all these dudes. I fight this one guy, and all of a sudden I'm more popular than ever. So I get it. I mean, I get it. It's like it's almost like you want to get rich quick. You know, you want to get rich quick rather than put in the work. And I get it, but you know, you can't
capitalize on it. He did put in the work. He did make the money. He got good money for the second Conor fight. Okay, so once that happened, Conor did his thing, left. Okay, now continue yours because now you're a star up there. Now it's time for you to prove that you're as a big of star as Conor.
Yeah.
So you take a fight again. Take another fight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, something. Show us something. The biggest thing that could have happened in that fight did. The first fight with Conor. He beat him. Because, okay, what if you go into that fight and Conor wins? Will there ever be a rematch? Would you be even in the picture of talking about 15 mil or whatever? No. You know what I'm saying? You won. Thank God for Conor to be like, fuck this, we're doing this again. At 170, everything the same. Nothing's changing. Now I'm giving you a more time to train, more time to come in, you know, not no short notice.
Well, yeah, because he said he wouldn't be touched if they had a full count.
Yeah. So now you see, but then again, maybe Nate's like, shit, I need to beat him for real. I need to not get knocked down. I need to do something. But you know, it's very true what you say. You have to put in the work. You know, at the end of the day, you have to give us something to go off of and be like, yeah, he deserves it. You can't just be sitting there getting high and slapping your boss around on TV and stuff. You know.
Yeah, it's not gonna work.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't know, man. I'm excited about this card. It's stacked. It's everything I'm hoping it to be, and I think it will. And it's always like that with the UFC. Towards the end of the year, they put on good cards. So
they still haven't came up with a main event for December 30th, though.
I thought it was.
Well, I mean, are we going Holly Holm Cyborg?
So far, I think that's what they're doing, man. To tell you the truth.
I mean, because last year, what was Ronda Rousey versus
Amanda? Yeah.
Amanda. That was the last main event. I mean, of last year's New Year's Eve kind of deal.
Yeah.
I mean, the women are really taking over because I mean, Misha headline 200. That was a big event.
The women are taking over. Oh damn. The women are taking over the UFC. I bet you Dana never thought that.
No.
In a million
well, supposedly, Ronda's coach wants Ronda to take another fight.
No.
And Dana was like, nope. I don't want to see it again. I don't want to see it again. I will not see that again.
I love Ronda, man, but Ronda, you're too Just save it for the big screen. Save it for the shows. Don't get messed up, okay? It's like, and I heard they were talking about Cyborg Ronda. It was like, no, don't even try.
Well, let's see what Holly Holm says. My wife says that the Cyborg's going to tear Holly Holm up. I'm rooting for Holly Holm.
Oh no! Once the wife gets into the discussions, is not good. That's good. Oh, I mean, hey, she sees that Holly has something, but I mean, Cyborg is just Cyborg. I mean, you saw the kind of work she does. I mean, it's...
Well, that's what they're saying. They're saying the Cyborg is going to tear Holly Holm up. I don't think that's going to happen. A head kick can change everything, right? Remember that?
Right. That's true. And to be honest with you, Holly does have the best chance just because of her background in boxing. Cyborg, you don't really see too much of her ground game because it's all stand-up with her. But Holly is, like I said, has that boxing background. So, I mean, it's an interesting fight, man. It's very interesting. I'm excited to see that one too, just because of, like I said, you don't know. That's the thing. You don't know. You don't know till it actually starts. You know, we can tell a lot by the first round. We're gonna be like, oh damn. It's kind of a crazy situation with them. I hope to be there.
Yeah.
I really do.
And you can make that happen by going to patreon.com/headshotmma and supporting us by pledging $1, pledging $10, pledging $20. All those proceeds go to equipment that goes to going out to these fights, getting exclusive interviews, getting all this stuff that can be happening. So
get us there, please.
If you can go on patreon.com/headshotmma and support. That's all I can ask is for the support by everybody out there listening. So
just a little bit helps. Just a little bit.
Do that.
Man. Well, it was a pleasure again, Mr.
Yes,
Gabe.
sir. I'm glad we made this happen, even if it was over the phone and getting all this equipment set up and doing some testing and.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Anytime. You know, we gotta bring it to the people. It's for you guys. Enjoy tomorrow night. It's a good fight card. We'll be there watching. Like I said, hopefully we can keep this going, and like you said, with the support of the people, we can bring you this good stuff.
Yes, sir.